This controversy has gone on long enough. It ends now. The year is 2012, and an interview with Miyamoto with a focus of Bowser Jr.'s relationship with the Koopalings as well as Bowser Jr.'s mother was had. His response? He just took the Koopalings, one of the greatest ensemble dark horses in history, characters that have a giant fanfiction website all about them, multiple websites, and he killed their point. Thank you! But really now, how could he be so blind? Unless we're the ones who are blind. Let's use science. Genetics can be pretty simple. If you've passed high school, you should at least know the basics of how they work. Specific genetic traits of the father are matched with the mother, and certain traits are picked up from each of them to create a new baby. It's not all that complicated for humans when you think about it in this broad, vague, and generic sense. But when you get into the specifics of DNA and recessive genes and chance and... the memories of biology class! Since Bowser has a somewhat anthropomorphic build to him, we can say that he has at least a small bit of genes similar to humans. Let's write down some notes for him, and then the Koopalings. Let's see. We'll write down some of the most common physical traits that can be observed with his children. Dimples, handedness, hairline shape, PTC tasting, fire breathing, much simpler. Cleft, issues with eyesight, and eye color. However, some obvious ones like hair color and the classic rolling tongue had to be removed since they are incredibly difficult to prove. Now then, it's hard to believe that one of the most fearsome menaces in the Mushroom Kingdom has dimples, but there they are. And they're so cute! Now, we carefully examine the Koopalings, and we see that many of them do not have such a trait, with the exception of two, Larry and Iggy Koopa. So chalk a point up for them. Many pictures of Bowser using tools depict him using his left hand to utilize them, basically explaining his dominant side is left. Who knew? Looking at the way the Koopalings hold their wand, you'll notice that none of them seem to really favor one arm over the other. So the Koopalings must be ambidextrous. So scratch them all off for that one. This one's a bit of a stretch, but we can gather some data from it. Bowser's hair usually comes up to a widow's peak, just like Lemmy and Ludwig. Morton, assuming his 3 hairs could turn into a long flowing mullet of awesome, would most likely have one too. And according to Wendy's human form in the TV show, she could have one as well. However, Larry and Iggy seem to have straight hairdos, and Roy is bald, so they don't qualify. Fortunately, all the Koopalings seem to share this power with him, as seen in Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. If Bowser has at least one very dominant trait, it's this one. It seems as if Bowser has some poor eyesight. Like seriously, you can't see Peach reading your own diary from no more than 10 feet away? Bowser, you need glasses. You clearly must be nearsighted. The only 2 Koopalings who wear glasses are Iggy and Roy. Let's assume Iggy suffers from the same fate as his father. And let's make a best case scenario out of this in saying that Roy needs the same, but wears prescription sunglasses because he works in Skyland. So close to the sign! Meh. Bowser possibly has the greatest cleft in the history of video games, and Morton possibly has the second greatest cleft. The rest, however, don't have any at all. Upon inspection of Bowser's eyes, we can see that his eyes resemble a red or amber color. Okay, so let's immediately take out Roy, because I don't think he's ever been seen without his sunglasses. Because again, that's Skyland. Meh. Ludwig and Morton seem to have hazel-colored eyes, Wendy and Larry seem to have blue eyes, Iggy and Lemmy don't seem to have colored eyes at all, so none of them seem to share that same eye color with their supposed father. And telling of the results is pretty disappointing. The only ones who kind of match up to Bowser is Iggy and Morton. But now think of it this way. This is illogical. According to the normal traits of a standard Koopa, Bowser is filled with recessive traits. So his mate would have to be a freak!
That's one hot mama.
So yeah, this is what Bowser's wife looks like. Oh, you're not convinced? Well good, because here's the real kicker. Despite what their name implies, the Koopalings aren't Koopas. Look at all the Koopalings. Bowser, and a standard everyday Koopa. Do you see what each of the Koopalings lack in comparison to Bowser and all the other Koopas? You see it? It's hiding in plain sight. Just like your nose. You are now aware that your nose is in your vision. But yeah, noses! It's their noses! In the Koopa Kingdom, all Koopas share at least one common factor. They all have extremely large noses. This important feature is what all of the Koopalings severely lack. If the Koopalings are truly Bowser's offspring, then at least one of them would have to include this Koopa-defining feature. But if the Koopalings aren't Koopas, then what are they? They're Boom Booms! Boom Booms are a separate species from the Koopas, but they share plenty of similar features to them. But they lack that defining nose. And simply comparing the Koopalings to Bowser and the Koopalings to Boom Booms, the evidence is clear. And don't forget, it just so happens that the games that feature the Koopalings also feature Boom Booms as an enemy. So if the Koopalings aren't Bowser's children, then why would they refer to Bowser as their father? Maybe he's adopted them, took them in as his apprentices, or needed some generals to lead his army. Young ones that won't grow stale like he did. And since they were raised by Bowser, the young Koopalings see him as a father figure. So there you have it. The Koopalings are not the biological underlings of the Koopa King. Bowser Jr. literally is Bowser's only child. Makes sense, as he's technically the oldest out of the Koopalings. But wait. Miyamoto also said that Bowser Jr. is not the child of Bowser and Peach. He actually has no idea who his mother is. So who's the mother that gave us this character? Subscribe to find out next time, and stay awesome!